Hello, Facebook Live. This is the 15 Red podcast with me, Graham Drayton, live from Burton-on-Trent in Staffordshire. It's almost 6 o'clock, but there's only two of us tonight. And we're here with Scott in Northern Ireland. Scott MacArthur, how are you?
Very well, Graham. Thank you very much.
Good. And Mike's on other duties with his son, I believe.
Yes.
So he's butted out, even though he said last night that he left us with the notion that Wilson was going to beat Higgins tonight. So we could always get you back tomorrow.
We'll come on to that in a moment.
Yeah, we will, definitely. But first of all, players check. There's been no news items that I've seen today.
No, there's no play today, basically, because ITV want to cover the horse racing in the afternoon.
They do. That's the main thing on a Saturday. It's either football on BBC and then the racing on the ITV. That's what they normally do. So, yeah, but semi-finals last night was Barry Hawkins and Ronnie O'Sullivan. Ronnie come through a tight match and he struggled a little bit until 3-1 down at one point, wasn't he?
But the burst from 3-1 down to 5-3 was absolutely superb.
And then, and then come back from 5-3, and then Barry got another frame back.
Yes,
trying to make it a tense finish, but Ronnie was there. But he wasn't his all-time best, was he? Really, Ronnie?
No, but at the same time, as Dave Henton kept saying on the commentary last night, you can't expect him to play the way he played against Lazowski all the time. I mean, he completely blitzed Lazowski, so he's not going to play to that standard every day of his life. No,
that's right. And just to let you know, Scott, we've got Brazil back. Ronaldo's watching.
See you, Ronaldo. Or good to know you're watching, Ronaldo.
Yeah, we're talking snooker again. Ronaldo is asked. So yes, we're talking snooker.
Yeah.
Ronnie coming through 6-4 eventually over Hawkins. A bit of a surprise in that result, Scott, as we said. Like after Ronnie went 3-1 down, it's still a bit of surprise to see 6-4.
Yes, well, we probably didn't expect the scoreline to be quite as tight, but then again, we might have underestimated how good Barry has been in recent times, I suppose. Well, because he's not really been doing much, but
No, that's right. I mean, he did beat Yu Long in the first round.
Yeah, 6-5.
Yeah, and then he beat Stuart Bingham, of course, in what has been described as the worst match of the season.
Harshly.
Not my words, I've got to say, not my words. But a lot of people commented saying how bad that really was. So to get 4 frames off Ronnie was quite a good achievement for Barry. Yeah. And then Ronnie goes into the final tomorrow to play either Kyren Wilson or John Higgins. And I know that's tonight. And I know, Scott, you're heavily on John Higgins. Yeah.
Well, I know, look, he's not going to win 6-0 tonight. Well, he might do, but he probably won't win 6-0 tonight. Kyren will get at least a frame. Kyren will test him, but I can't see John dropping so far that he gets beat.
No, I can't see. I can see possibly a Wilson victory. Put it that way. I could see a final frame decider, maybe a 6-4 Wilson. I'm sort of edging that way.
Yeah, well, I suppose.
Sorry, Scott. Sorry. I know you like Higgins.
I know.
But you've got some head-to-head stats.
They've got outside of the Championship League, obviously, which is the short format and doesn't really have much bearing on things. It's actually only 2-2. They've only actually ever played 4 times.
Wow.
And Kyren won the last one. He won that 5-4 in the quarterfinals of the World Grand Prix. About this time last year, last February it was. But John has beaten twice in the World Championship. The quarterfinal in 2017, John won 13-6. And in the semi-final in 2018, he won 17-13. Got the final on both occasions and lost.
Well, I think, like you say, Kyren might I've said Kyron Mike. I do like Kyron's style of play.
Yeah.
But like I say, at the minute, Higgins is on fire.
Yeah.
Absolutely on fire. He's beat Mark Selby 6-0. He's beat Jordan Brown, Welsh Open champion, 6-0.
Albeit Jordan Brown was probably still celebrating with me.
He might have been, yeah. I think he's euphoric, should we say? And he's come down to earth, and he's come down with a bang. And Kyle Wilton beat Ryan Day 6-1.
Yeah.
Which is, Ryan Day, good, decent player.
Yeah. Shootout champion, of course.
Yes, shootout champion, which we're not a favour of, but a fan of. But he didn't, Ryan Day didn't play very well against Wilson. I did. Yeah. And then Wilson beats Robertson.
Yeah, well, and in a match where Robertson had made 4 centuries, you remember?
Yeah. And that's why I know Higgins beat Selby 6-0, but that's why I think Wilson might have the edge over Higgins tonight. Because of
I see your logic there.
Yeah, with the momentum over what he's just done over Robertson.
Yeah, because Robertson played absolutely unbelievable against Lu Ning, but then Wilson beat him. So I see your logic there, but I can't see John. I just can't see John dipping his standard so low that he'll get beat.
And whoever gets through faces Ronnie. So who would win out of a Wilson-O'Sullivan final, say?
You've got to favour Ronnie.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Because, look at the world final last season.
But there again, you'd favour Ronnie against Jordan Brown. And that was one of them one-off matches that Brown beat him,
Yeah,
so,
well, let's just say...
that was 1 out of 100 matches.
Yeah.
If Ronnie played him tonight, he'd wipe the floor with him. I think we said that before. But to say that O'Sullivan will beat Wilson, you would have said Brown. O'Sullivan would have beaten Brown. So a bit of a contrast there. Yeah,
it does. It does rather put predictions out the window rather, but nonetheless, Ronnie would win based on various things, just experience in big finals,
And then, if Higgins gets through to face O'Sullivan, you'd fancy Higgins.
Well,
to beat Ronnie?
I would favour Ronnie, but I wouldn't care who won there. I literally wouldn't care. That's a match for proper snooker fans if they get through there. That's like it'll be the 18th final they've played against each other.
That Masters final that they played's got to go down as one of the best finals in recent times, hasn't it?
Yeah. Can you believe that's 15 years ago?
Yeah. That and that world final where Ronnie played the worst final he ever did against Higgins to win it in 2000.
Oh, yes, statistically, you mean?
Yes.
Yes.
I think you mentioned that before, where that was the worst performance of Ronnie's 6 titles.
Yes, out of the 6, that's where he conceded the most frames. John took the most frames off him. He took 14 off him.
So it will be, like you say, a dream final if that was to happen. It might. It might not.
I say that's one for proper snooker fans, that isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. It's like a dream final.
Because they have played, believe it or not, Graham, 72 times.
Gee goes. That takes some believing, doesn't it? 72 in, since 92?
Well, they first played in October of 94, so that's 27 years. And bear in mind, that's only professional matches.
Yeah.
Like they would have been playing as amateurs and youngsters when they were 12 or 13 years of age.
Yeah. And in them days, who would you say was a better player in them days, say 94, 95? Because Ronnie was very raw and up and coming. Higgins was the same.
Well, no. Well, it depends what you mean. Ronnie has always had more talent than John. But like, if you were to ask me, who would I put my house on to make a clearance?
It would be
Yeah,
John,
of course
wouldn't
it would. Like that you referenced that 2006 Masters final. Ronnie gets in, makes a 60 break, and then John clears up with the best 64 break you've ever seen.
Yeah, and the double on the red to win it.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
Absolutely tremendous. And you didn't even see that coming, did you? You didn't even think he'd do that in a final frame. And who else would have the guts to play a double like that? Knowing if you missed, then you've possibly lost the match.
I think John is the best doubler of all time, without question.
I think he's the best stealer of frames. You know, like you said about clearing up and putting your house on him. Yes, I would agree that John is that player.
What sort of, if we do get a Higgins O'Sullivan final, what are we talking? 10-7, Ronnie?
Oh, maybe 10-9 or 10-8, Ronnie.
And then if it's O'Sullivan Wilson?
I'd say 10-5, 10-4, Ronnie.
Now, bear in mind, of course, they did play in the Champion of Champions final in 2018.
They did. It went all the way.
It went 10-9.
Yeah, and Ronnie fouled on a waistcoat. Foul on that, because I remember Clive Everton saying, "Oh dear, a waistcoat foul."
Yeah.
And he checked the red like 3 times and still fouled on it. I remember that clearly. I was like, Ronnie, what are you doing? Yeah.
Well, you went to the Champion of Champions.
I did go that year when Mark Selby made his maximum.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
but
I also
missed the decider.
Yeah, and I missed the decider, and then I actually stayed around for the evening session as well between Mark Allen and Neil Robertson when Allen beat him 6-2. I think it was 6-2 or 6-3.
Yeah, I'll check that when we go off air.
Yeah. And I remember clearly because it was he was walking around clearing up on the last frame to clear up to win.
Yeah.
And there was bang, bang, bang. There was all these fireworks going off, and he looks around and goes, "What's going on?" And
yes, well,
fireworks were outside, and it was November the 4th or something.
Yeah, so
November
it would have been near Guy Fawkes night.
Yeah, that was quite funny. By the way, talking about top breaks in this tournament that I was on about earlier on, the century breaks. Barry Hawkins has the top 143 so far to beat.
Yes, against U-Log to force the decider.
Then that's it. Wow, what a time to bring out 143.
To force a deciding frame.
Robertson's got 142 though.
Yeah, well, that was in that demolition of Lou Ning.
Yeah. Yep, and then 133 for John Higgins.
Yeah.
But the second highest break is, the third highest break is actually Robertson's 135.
Yeah, which was the first century in that list of 4 that he had against Lou Ning.
Well, and Ronnie's only got 125.
Yes, and 124, but.
Yeah. And 103.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's some good centuries going in from Barry as well. He's got 209s.
Well, best players in the world, you expect a high standard.
Judd's got 105, Long 109, Bing 113. So, it's, like we say, some good standard of snooker. And like we said last night, the standard of snooker is getting better and better before the World Champs.
Tremendous.
Looking forward. I'm so looking forward to the World Championship, Scott.
I'm glad we're back in our traditional spot for the World Championship. I understand why they had to change it for COVID reasons last year, but don't have it in the middle of August. Can you imagine playing a World Championship on the hottest day of the year?
Yeah, but I don't think they wanted it in August.
No,
Barry Hearn did not want that, and he was very disappointed the last World Championship.
Yeah.
He did everything he could to get fans in there, and the government the day before said we're locking down,
Yeah.
and then they had to stop letting fans in, and it was really sad time for Barry. It was really disappointed him.
It was disappointing, but by the way, we saw the first maximum break at the Crucible for 8 years.
Yes.
Last year.
Yeah.
From John Higgins against Kurt Mafflin.
Yes, and I thought that year actually Kurt Mafflin didn't do too bad, especially
against superb.
Yeah, he was all right, and then Higgins goes and makes a maximum against him.
Yeah, but he still won that match, Mafflin.
He did.
Still won.
Yeah, it was.
He still won that match. Higgins is the third player. Here's a question for you.
Right.
Higgins is the third player to make a maximum at the Crucible but still lose the match. Who are the other two?
Okay, I'm going with. I was going to say Ronnie.
Correct.
Yeah.
Against Marco Fu, 2003.
And no, Ding on upon Saginaw.
No, Stephen Hendry in 2009.
There we go then. I know Hendry's made a few centuries at the Crucible, of course.
Well, he's made 127 centuries at the Crucible, actually, Stephen. And he's made 3 maximum breaks.
Yeah.
Ron,
who were they against, Scott?
What?
Who were they against?
They were against Jimmy White in 1995, Sean Murphy in 2009, and Stuart Bingham in 2012.
Yeah. Yeah, I knew Bingham was one of them. I just didn't know the other two. So yeah, so that is our preview for the Players' Championship. The semi-final tonight: Kyron against Higgins. I'm going Wilson. Mike's gone Wilson, and you've gone Higgins. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with them two tonight.
Did we have the points on for all getting Ronnie last night?
Yes. Yeah, we do. Hang on a minute. I'll because we all went for Ronnie, didn't we?
Yeah.
So 31 right for you, Scott. 22 right for Mike, and 22 right for me. So I've got now 32 points. Mikey has got 45, and you have got 69.
That's quite a handsome lead.
Absolutely way out in front. 14 points in front, Scott, so far.
They'll be calling me the man Sonny in the snooker world next.
Well, you are the encyclopedia of snooker. We know this.
No, I said they'll be calling me the man Sonny in the snooker world next.
Okay. What was some nicknames, Scott?
Because
the Phil Yates or the snooker runner, anything you can think of, statisticians.
Yeah.
So,
can you? By the way, tell our listeners the good news that you got via Instagram last night, but we may have a special guest in a few months' time.
Yes, we may have a special guest. So basically, I messaged somebody, I won't say who it is just yet, on Instagram, and I messaged him a couple of when we first started, about a week after or something, and he got back to me last night saying, "Sorry guys, I've just seen this. Give me more details." So I rang Mike up immediately and I said, "Mike, what do I say? What do I say to this guy? Because it's quite a big name in the snooker world, and he's not a player. I'll tell you that he's not a player. That's a clue." And so he's in the media more of a journalist than anything else. And
he's in the commentary box, if that helps.
Yeah, and Mike said, "Just tell him what we do. Just give him the details. Just give him details what we do." I says, "Okay." So I told him straight back. He says, "Okay, after Gibraltar Open, when things calm down, I'll be more than happy to come and come and talk to you guys. And it is Scott.
Dave Hendon.
Dave Hendon, the commentator for Eurosport and ITV4. Absolutely brilliant.
And a wonderful statistician, I have to say, as well.
Scott is, I know I'm over the moon about it. Mike is over the moon about it, and I think you are too.
Yeah. By the way, if any of you guys are on Twitter, I'm not, but apparently he has this website that he does. It's called Snooker on This Day, and it has all sort of like anniversaries of significant events that took place for every day of the year.
Yeah, and also we'll just get him as well before the World Champs.
Oh yes.
And also we're going to have to come up with some good inquisitive questions for him as well.
Because guys,
I bet even you, Scott, won't be able to catch Hendon out.
Yeah, no, guys, if you think I'm an anorak, this guy is a.
He's a legend in the game. He's a legend in the sport, isn't he?
Well, this guy in terms of an anorak is off the scale.
So, would you be able to find an obscure question that would catch him out? Do you think?
I don't think so. I do not think so. I think.
Well, that'll be something, Scott, to match you out.
I think he literally goes around with Q Tracker memorized on his head.
Oh, you do as well, don't you?
More or less, but like, let's get Dave Hendon is like, this is off the scale class that we've got.
I still can't believe it. I mean, I was just thinking out of all the messages that Dave Hendon will receive. I mean, he's got a load of followers on Twitter and Instagram and everything. And for him to get back to us is quite a big thing.
Yeah, well, let's calm down. Let him commentate in Gibraltar. Let him get himself sorted first, and then we can figure out how we're going to do it. But
it is big news. It's great for us. And also Dave will give us advice on other platforms that we can use, better streaming services, stuff like that.
Yeah. Have you got any quiz questions for me tonight?
I can give you a few if you want.
Well, go ahead.
Okay, all right. Oh dear. Well, the black and white rag. The black and white rag. What is its snooker's related claim to fame?
Black and white rag.
Now that's an obscure question.
Is it a club where Joe Davis used to practice or something?
No. The black and white rag is related to is snooker's related claim to fame.
I have no idea.
Oh dear. Oh dear. So I'll leave that question for Mike tomorrow. I won't give the answer till tomorrow then.
No.
How's that? That's kind of an obscure question.
Well,
so.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do that tomorrow. What name do you associate with the Invitational Professional Non-Ranking Snooker Tournament that ran from 1974 until 2000 in Wales? What name do you associate with that tournament? With this particular tournament?
Regal?
No, it was called the Pontins Professional.
Oh, yes, it was down at Prestatyn. That's where. Oh,
that's right. I couldn't say Prestatyn, so I just missed it out and said Wales.
Well, if you'd have said, oh well, never mind. Oh well.
Here's one for you. Okay, four players. Can you name the four players that have won consecutive world titles at the Crucible?
Well, Mark Selby, Ronnie O'Sullivan, Stephen Hendry, and Steve Davis.
Yeah. Do you remember what years it was as well? What years they did it?
Yeah. 1983 and 1984 for Steve Davis.
Yeah.
And 1987, 1988, and 1989 for Davis as well. He did it twice.
Yeah.
Hendry did it between 92 and 96. O'Sullivan,
Yeah.
2012 and 2013. And Selby, 2016 and 2017.
You are incredible. You are incredible. That was brilliant. And why is it? Say, like Davis won it in 1981, right?
Yeah.
We know he beat Doug Mountjoy, but in 1982 he got beat by Tony Knowles by incredible
10-1.
10-1, I think. 10-1. Now, why is it that and Dennis Taylor lost in 1986 in the first round to who?
Mike Hallett.
Yeah. Now, why is it that these players who's won the title the first year, we've said this before, the Crucible Curse, why can't they do it the second year? Is it too much pressure?
I think so.
There's never been any answer to it, has there? That's the thing. No one.
It's sort of it's a stat that gets rolled out every year, but it's sort of, say it gets rolled out every year, but nobody can sort of answer why or what.
Yeah, because we had Steve Davis win it in 83 and 84, but he won it in 81, and he couldn't win it in 82. Alex Higgins won it. So I just don't know why he couldn't progress further than the first round in the second year.
Fair, there are two players that have got to the final the year after they won it for the first time. Who are they?
Okay. Well, it won't be Stephen Hendry, will it?
No.
No. Oh, dear me. Joe Johnson is one.
Correct. Who's the other one?
Dear Lord. Higgins.
Doherty.
No, Doherty played Higgins. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah.
But they're the only two that have even got to the final the following year. Never mind.
I wish it would. I wish it would just go away now, and somebody would come back and win the damn thing the year after.
Aye, because it is getting a bit. Like we're getting a bit fed up talking about it.
And I don't. They call it a curse. I don't know why they give it that title. To be honest,
no,
it's not really a curse, is it?
No,
it's not.
It's just a stat that is yet to be broken.
Yeah, but I hope, like we say, hopefully it will get broken at one point. I'm sure someone will come and do it. I'm sure.
Well, it won't apply this year, obviously, so we're all right.
I'll just ask you this one quickly. Which you'll know this one, I'm sure. Which two players have played in the World Championship at the Crucible on 8 occasions, but never progressed beyond the first round?
Ooh, who's that? 8. Okay. Peter. No.
I'll give you a clue. It's in the 80s. I'll give you that. I'll give you that clue.
Al Warburton.
No.
Two, did you say?
2. So which two players have played 8 times on 8 occasions at the Crucible, but never progressed beyond the first round?
What nationalities are we talking here?
Oh dear. I think. Well, I don't know much about these two players. So put it that way. I've heard of them before, but I don't know much about them. I think.
Is one of them
Welsh American?
Salvino Francisco?
No. Shall I tell you?
Yeah.
One is Cliff Wilson.
Welshman.
Yeah, I knew one of them was Welsh. And Rex Williams.
The former WPBSA chairman and BBC commentator.
Yeah, so they're the two that's never made it past the first round at Crucible.
No.
Wow. Well, there you go. So
Jordan Brown's another one, but he's only played there once.
Yes, but I'm sure. Well, do you think he'll progress through the first round this time? Do you think he's got more of a
he'll qualify, I think.
Yeah, more of a chance this time because he's got more, bit more experience this time, hasn't he?
Yeah. Like, I'm coming up against Selby on your Crucible debut. That's pretty tough. Like,
yeah. I've got to say that is tough. I wouldn't like to play that. If I got through, I'd be like, oh God, Selby. Imagine if you got Ronnie, you'd be like, oh no.
Sure, per Tap Chael, no Tap Chael knew the Thai player.
Yes.
He's been at the Crucible the last 3 years. Do you know who he's got? He's never won a match, but do you know who he's got? John Higgins in 2018, Judd Trump in 2019, and Ronnie O'Sullivan last year.
Oh, it's nasty, isn't it? But what about Cahill, though? He came through Ronnie.
Yeah. That was the first time that Ronnie lost in the first round since 2003. Who was that that beat him then?
Who beat him in 2003?
Yeah. No.
Murphy?
Marco Fu.
Yeah, another player that's dropped off the scale.
Yeah, well, unfortunately stuck in Hong Kong at the minute.
I do like Marco Fu, though. I thought he was a really good player. I thought
Yeah,
he was quality.
Former semi-finalist, of course.
He was a hard nut to crack sometimes, wasn't he? Warrior,
yeah.
He was.
Former World Championship semi-finalist, of course.
Yeah.
2006.
Just, an absolute, he was brilliant. He was and he could pop. He could pop quite well. And I think he came from the James Watton area, didn't he? The era.
Well, he sort of came through then, but then, made his hay sort of in the early 2000s, really.
For you, then, James Watton or Marco Fu?
Oh, I gotta go with Fu, I think.
Me too. Yeah. Fu was, I think, a bit more of a quality player than Watton. Although I'm not discrediting Watton.
No, Fu did beat Ronnie in a ranking final, actually.
Did he? Okay.
Yeah, the Grand Prix in 2007 in Aberdeen.
Like I say, Scott, I think you watch every tournament there is to know, which is great.
Yeah, no, but again, you can see how good these players are. They can beat Ronnie in big finals.
Yes.
Sure, even the late Paul Hunter done it.
Yeah. And that's another thing about Ronnie. Sometimes you just don't know which Ronnie you're going to get. It's fascinating with him. It's absolutely. I mean, he's had these things in the past where he's done these crazy things. He says these crazy statements. He sits with towels over his head. He walks out halfway through frames. He's that kind of player. He's that kind of guy.
Yeah, but
because he suffers from depression, of course.
Yeah. Have you ever seen that footage of when he walked out against Hendry in 2006 in the UK? Hendry's face is just priceless.
It's like, what's going on? But they still didn't know at that point whether he conceded the possession or the match.
No, Clive Everton was in the commentary box at the time.
Yeah.
And he said, in all my 40-odd years of watching snooker, I have never seen that.
And even Dennis Taylor said, what's the matter? 4-1 down?
Yeah.
You just don't do that. Even John Parrott said, you just don't do that sort of thing. But that's what Ronnie is like,
Yeah, but
he has this tendency to do and say silly
things. Of course
things.
he does. Sure. You remember in 2002 he said to Stephen Hendry before they played the semis of the World Championship, I'll send you to your sad little life in Scotland.
Again.
And then Stephen beat him.
Yeah, again, another silly comment. And I think that's what lost him that match. I think, he was hyped up too much and he's trying too hard to beat him. And Hendry's just gone out there with no pressure and won the match.
Yeah, and then lost the decider to Peter Ebdon.
I still don't know how Ebdon beat Hendry in that final. I still don't know how that happened.
Well, it was just an epic final.
It was brilliant. But in that final frame, of course, Hendry went for some crazy shots where there was a white on the side cushion, tried to put the red, the white went in, missed the long blue, and that was it.
Yeah.
But
Peter Ebdon, he was graft.
and then he played against Ronnie a few years later and made that break of 12 in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff.
I mean, if you ever see the split screen of Ronnie's Max in '97 and
Yes.
that break of 12, it's like, what on earth are you doing, Peter? Are you playing snooker or just standing at the table doing nothing?
And what was the match where Mark Allen conceded against Ronnie with a white towel on the end of his cue?
The Welsh Open in 2009, I think it was.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. And that was so funny. He was just sat there with the white flag.
Well, Mark's just like, nah, he's too good. You might as well just.
They've got a bit of history, haven't they?
Well, it flagged up at the Champion of Champions, but you might accuse me of local bias here, but Ronnie was totally wrong. Mark wasn't in his A-lane at all.
No, and we spoke about this on previous episodes with players in their eye lines and stuff. Yeah, but I was going to ask you this, Scott. Mike's just messaged, by the way, saying, "Hey, gentlemen." He's just messaged us.
No.
Hi, Mike. You all right, mate? Yeah.
We look forward to having you back.
Yes, and Dave Hendon on the way in about a week or two. You know, that'd be great.
But a fortnight. Problem.
I was going to ask you what you made about that controversial moment in the Crucible history between Robidoux and O'Sullivan, where Robidoux said he's just playing stupid, you know, and he should be more professional and he shouldn't be playing left-handed, and Robidoux didn't give up that frame until the pink went in or something.
Yeah, well, look.
What did you make of that, Scott,
well,
honestly?
At the time, look, I think Robidoux overreacted. Look, you know what Ronnie's like? He likes to stir the pot.
Yeah, he does.
And I mean, it's not as if nobody ever played left-handed before. Because if you look back, Dennis even played left-handed because he didn't like the rest.
Yeah, that's right. He's the worst player of the rest.
Yeah, so he did. So Dennis did play left-handed. So like playing left-handed was not a big, you know, it wasn't this sort of big new thing. But what I think Alain Robidoux took exception to was Ronnie said afterwards, "I can play better with my left hand than he can with his right hand."
Yeah, but surely, you know, like Robidoux, like you say, he's took it completely the wrong way. Right?
Of course he did.
It's not in the rule book which hand you use. You know?
No.
So I don't know why he can't complain with the rules there. So I don't know what his actual problem was. Just saying it's unprofessional and he shouldn't be doing that. But Ronnie's got a right to go whichever way he liked.
Yeah. I mean, any player's got the right to play any way they like. It's not the rule book. You have to play with your own hand.
Exactly. So I still don't know why he was trying to make a point. And like Clive Everton said in that commentary, he says, "Is it a point worth proving?"
And by the way, here's a time thing to make you feel rather old. That's 25 years ago this year.
Wow, that is it. Yeah. You keep coming up with these stats, Scott, just blowing my mind. You really do.
How's that 25 years ago? But that's 2 years before I was even born.
But that's 11 years after I was. Oh no, 25 years ago today. Oh dear.
Well, not today, but like
yeah,
it'll be 25 years in April.
So this year, oh God, I'd have been. I was thinking about 20 years. I'd have been about 10. I'd have been about 9 or 10 when that happened.
No, but like Alain totally overreacted. It was totally uncalled for them.
Yeah, and I think Ronnie was right in saying, I just did it to wind him up more and more.
Yes. And by the way, we're talking about the possibility of the Players' Championship final being Ronnie and John. They played in the quarter-final that year, 1996. They played in the World Championship quarter-final that year.
And who won that? I'm tempted to say Ronnie.
Ronnie 13-12.
Gee, another final frame for Ronnie O'Sullivan there. Now, what was your stats on him the other night? How many deciders he had?
Well, he played 238 and he won 151 of them.
Wow.
So what's that in percent? That's about roughly half.
Yeah, I'm not very good at maths, Scott. But yeah, it's quite a huge percentage. I'm not sure. I'm not.
No, neither am I. Neither am I.
Dave Hendon that question.
Yeah, well,
he'll know.
Well, we'll pull that one out against Dave.
Yeah.
Especially if Ronnie's played a few more between now and then.
Yeah, it may be another one tomorrow night. You never know. And
9 against John.
He had one against Jordan Brown, and he had one against Ding Junhui in this tournament. So that's two.
Speaking of Ronnie deciders, he likes a decider against Ding. They've played 4 times this season, and all 4 of them have gone to decider.
Yeah, that's another stat, isn't it? All 4 of them, and Ronnie's won all 4. Yeah. Unbelievable. Like I say, that is just another incredible stat to go on. 4 times this season already.
Yeah. But bear in mind now, there are more tournaments, so if you're likely to be playing boys 3 or 4 times a season.
Yep. So, well, I think that's covered everything, Scott, for tonight.
Yeah. So you and Mike are going Wilson and I'm going John, I think.
That's right, yeah. And I'm still not swayed on Higgins to win, sorry.
You're all right, but
I do like Wilson though. I think Wilson's one of them players who, again though, he's one of them guys that he should be progressing more than he is.
No, but he's up to number 5 in the world, so he's getting there.
Yeah, he's getting there, but he's one of them that just hang around and just doesn't get to that point. But yeah, he's good enough. He's good enough. That's what I'm saying. He should be winning more. Yeah.
Yeah, he should be.
Anyway, so we'll leave you with that because it's Higgins and Wilson. They're starting off in a couple of minutes.
Their start. The ITV4 coverage starts off at 6:45.
Right. Okay. You might hear Dave Hendon on there.
Indeed. Yes.
Okay, Scott. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Graham. Good to see you once again.
No problem. And we'll be back tomorrow evening with Mike.
Will do.
Okay. See you soon.
Goodbye.
Bye.